everyone, welcome to the Spiritual Citizen. My today's guest is Mr. Vicram Sharma, also popularly known as Vikram Baidyanath. He is Managing Director of Baidyanath Group of Companies, which is more than a century old. He is fit as a fiddle and his passion for skydiving and other adventure sports is amazing. He believes in giving back to the society generously and is very closely associated with a few NGOs. He has a spiritual bent to life, and yet he is very progressive in his thinking. He was born with a golden spoon, but he never took that for granted. He is highly educated and he worked very hard to modernize the company of his ancestors. Welcome, Vikram, to the Spiritual Citizen.
Thank you.
Welcome. There are volumes about you and your company Baidyanath on internet. But today we aim at understanding the inspirational person which you are and your core values. And what I say to you now is that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just that little extra mile. And Vikram, you are an extraordinary person. Please tell me something about
Thank you.
welcome. Please tell me something about your early years and your education. And we all have, at least one teacher or a one book which always inspires us. And we kind of carry it for the rest of our life. Like even today, if you ask me, who was the teacher who inspired you? And I know who was she. So please tell us.
I went to the prestigious Doon School in Dehradun. It's a boarding school for boys, which was started by the Brits. One of the best and the most prestigious schools, most illustrious schools of India till date. That I think was the best thing one of the best things my mother did for me. I realized my potential as an athlete. I became the fastest short distance runner in my batch. I also eventually took to long distance running. I started writing. I participated in lots and lots of extracurricular activities. School really helped me to develop my confidence and hone my skills. And everything that I learned at the Doon School has seen me through life till now. All those experiences, those friendships that I made during my growing years have stood the test of time, and I'm still in touch with my friends from school. We are all in different parts of the world, but that doesn't interfere with the friendship. As far as my teachers are concerned, my English teacher, Mr. Hunt, is somebody who clearly stands out. He came from England to teach us English, and he was extremely strict. Your English had to be completely grammatically correct. Even the diction, pronunciation, there could be no mistakes. He introduced me to Thomas Hardy. Far from the Madding Crowd was one of the first books I read. It was a difficult book, and Thomas Hardy's English was extremely flowery. But before I knew it, I started really enjoying myself. Mayor of Casterbridge, and read many of Thomas Hardy's novels, one better than the other.
Yes. And, Vikram, your brand, Baidyanath, is basically based on Ayurvedic system. And Ayurveda is an ancient form of medicine which has been mentioned in a fourth Veda, Atharva Veda. So please tell us something about Ayurveda, and do you think it is safe for everyone?
Oh, of course. Ayurveda is a holistic and a multidimensional approach to living a life in a very balanced and a healthy manner. Ayurveda has the Tridosh theory, which is Pit, Vata, and Kapha. Now, all of us are a mix of the three, but these are very subtle energies that are there that make up our systems. At any time, something is more predominant in our system, something is not that predominant. The idea is to find the right balance between the three of them. And that is what Ayurveda aims to achieve. And if the Ayurvedic principles, whether it's Ritu Charya, which is you eat according to the season, Din Charya, which means that you eat according to the time of the day, and everything else, whether it's fasting, and all the principles that Ayurveda proposes, if they are followed, if we are able to incorporate those in our lives, then we can live longer, we can live healthier and happier.
Mhm.
Here, I want to also tell you that Ayurveda has no side effects because we do not put any catalysts to speed up the reactions of anything. Everything is herbal, made from natural herbs, medicines, and plants. So, of course, there are no quick fixes, and these things take time. Anything that is natural takes its own time. The key is to be patient and to be regular with Ayurveda.
Mhm. I get you on that. You know, I was just, as I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
doing research on you and Ayurveda, I came across this
Mm-hmm.
very interesting thing. It's a research done by Columbia University, and in that they found out that 70 to 90% people all over the world use conventional medicine, and one out of three says that they are willing to go back to it. So, only thing is people are using it in their daily life, but they are not actually attesting to it. They are not committing to it that they are. That's what I could understand, after reading a little bit about this research. And today's
Right.
youth, it leads a very fast paced social life, and they are hardly aware of traditional systems of Ayurveda. So, how do you plan to reach out to the youth? And do you think they will eventually adapt to something like this?
One thing I feel is that the youth today is extremely intelligent, and they are very well aware of the benefits of Ayurveda, whether they accept it or not. Um, a lot of a lot of the modern youth that I've come in contact with recently have discussed Ayurveda with me. They are interested, and many of them have started. Like for instance, Tifla has helped so many people. It's a Tridosh Shamak tonic, which one can have very comfortably, pretty much every day. Whether it's your eyesight, your hair, anything. It's good for everything. It'll your system. It'll not let you get constipated. So the modern youth, I think, are very intelligent. The only thing that they have to understand is that one, there are no quick fixes, so you have to be patient. It brings harmony between the mind, body, and soul. Do a little more. I would tell all the modern youth that do a little more reading on it. Get to know Ayurveda a little bit better, not just surface level information. It's very interesting. Like say for instance, ashwagandha is one of the most it's one of the most anti-aging nervine tonics in the world. There is nothing in the world that comes close to ashwagandha. People who lead very fast-paced lives should have this pretty much every day. But of course, you need to consult an Ayurvedic Vaidya before doing anything. Chawanprash, the chief ingredient in Chawanprash is amla. Amla is the most potent antioxidant source in the world, more than blueberries, more than anything. So here you are, you've got all the solutions in India, here in our traditional system of medicine. All you have to do is get to know it a little bit more and be good to yourself.
So, why is it that, such an amazing science and ancient science like Ayurveda not being simplified for a common man?
Um, that's a very good point you've raised. Maybe I should write a book where I should simplify Ayurveda for everyone.
Pick up the pen.
Uh,
I would say pick up the pen.
Ayurveda is Yes, yes. I'm going to think about this one very seriously. Ayurveda is not the thing with Ayurveda is that it's a very vast science. It's a very, very, very vast science. But if one just reads up on it, say online, there is enough material that is very simple that's available. Like here, I can tell you in short that Ayurveda is a holistic science. It is a multidimensional science. It is a science that deals with balancing and your mind, body, and soul, and ensuring that they are in harmony with each other. So here is Ayurveda for you in a nutshell, right?
Mhm.
How does Ayurveda do it? The Tridosh theory is one of the most important theories in Ayurveda. Then you have to have the like say for instance somebody who has a problem with cholesterol. For them, there is nothing like this herb called Arjun, which is available in nature. What we do is we manufacture it in the powder form, in the tablet form, in the liquid form, so whatever you prefer. So your heart issues, your cholesterol issues, Arjuna Rish alone takes care of that. So I'm trying to simplify it here for you as much as I can. Now there are massages. Ayurveda is is really recommends massages very, especially people who are Vat, whose Prakriti is Vat. For them to get a massage regularly is very important. People whose Prakriti is Pit, even they should get massages. But to understand some of these things, you just need to consult a professional. There are, we have Baidyanath.com, we have lots of professionals online who are willing to help you as well. Um, so Ayurveda, it is not as complicated as it's made out to be honest. But of course, because it's a very vast science and there is so much information on Ayurveda, because there are so many herbs that nature provides us. So now here we talk about single herb preparations, we talk about multi herb preparations. So of course, there's a wealth of information there. You dip into what's relevant to you and you stick with that. And for that, you would need a professional person to guide you and handhold
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah, like
It's simpler than what people think it is. Yeah.
that note, I must also tell you one thing that I love fitness, and whenever I have any aches or pains, as you know, if you're also in fitness, that these things happen. So from the longest time, I have been using Mahanarayan tail made by Baidyanath instead of Volani and Move, and it works like
Right.
magic. It really works like magic. So, you just mentioned about, you might like to write a book about simplifying Ayurveda. And we all know that pen is mightier than the sword. And education helps you in the ability of developing critical thinking. You're a very highly educated person. So, how important do you think is education in people's life, and especially for children who come from well established business families, like the way you have come?
Education, one, teaches you discipline, which is of paramount importance, at every stage in your life. It is discipline that makes you achieve things. That is one of the most important things about education. And the other thing is, of course, it sharpens your skills, it makes you think, it hones your solving abilities and things like that. And also the exposure it gives you, where you are in contact, and you are competing with people your age, you're competing with some of the best, as the case might be, and you have to shine on the basis of your own ability. Education, I think, is very, very important. I did a master's in international marketing management from Leeds, and then I worked for a few years, and then I did a double master's from the London School of Economics in industrial relations and human resource management. All of that taught me a lot. It's helped me to run my family business better.
Right, right. So, that's the kind of drive we should be there in children who comes from well established business houses. And
Mhm.
Vikram, it is said that a true leader is who has the potential to unite a lot of opinions and make them into one whole. And you must definitely be one of the younger CEOs in the world. So, what is your leadership style? And that's one question. And are you old school or you're modern in your thinking? Or you merge both of them?
I grew up watching the old school style of management and leadership, watching my dad and my uncles and how they did. They did very well. They achieved a lot, but their style and the systems were very old school, very strict but old school. London School of Economics, where I did double masters in human resource management and industrial relations, that taught me the new style of management and leadership,
Mhm.
whether it is whether it is industrial psychology or anything. I learned the new style. So when I came back to Bedina, then I worked in England for 4 years before coming back to my family business. When I moved back to my family business, I've tried to amalgamate the two and find the right healthy balance. I hope I have managed. I really hope so. I think guys working for me will tell you better. But I've tried to amalgamate the two systems.
Mhm. So you are actually kind of using the old school thought, which is required, and also modernizing at the same time. And there is enough, information about the modernization of Bedna since you have come. So you are
Yeah,
modernizing. You are
absolutely.
definitely modernizing. And how important do
Hmm.
you think is ethics in business, and how do you balance ethics and the commercial aspect of a business?
Um, so my grandfather and his younger brother who started Baidyanath, for them ethics were of paramount importance. Now ethics, we start with first quality. Baidyanath is known for the fantastic quality of its products. That is the one thing that really keeps us, as amongst the top players in the market. Because people have seen other products of other companies and then had our products, and we've even received handwritten letters from people telling us the difference it's made to them.
Mm-hmm.
So on that level, ethics are very important. Then whether it's our dealers, our distributors, sales representatives, or whoever we deal with, uh, for us being ethical is extremely important, because and also we look at the entire chain, the entire system as family, as an extended family. So even the consumers who are consuming our products, they are, for us, they are extended family. I consume the same products. So only those products that I will consume are out in the market.
Mm-hmm.
I eat my own chawanprash, for instance,
Hmm.
and the same chawanprash is available in the market. It's not like I get something separately made for myself. No. So when we're talking about being ethical, I think ethics are of paramount importance to us, and that is one of the values that my grandfather and his younger brother, who started Baidyanath, inculcated in their sons, and who in turn inculcated the same values in us.
Mm-hmm. And I think it shows. It shows in the purity of the product and in the genuineness of the product. And that's why
Yes,
the trust,
absolutely.
yeah, and that's the trust people have in Baidyanath. I still remember my
Hmm.
grandparents talking about your brand, and here I am still using it after my workout or any other kind of muscular pain which I have after my workout. Vikram, Bernard Shaw has said that happy is a man who is living by his hobbies. You love adventure sports, and your passion for that is amazing. Where did this passion come from? And how important do you think is hobbies in today's time? More and more people are going away from hobby. That really sometimes make you think, why don't they have?
I think hobbies are of paramount importance. Again, hobbies are very important because they keep you feeling young. You feel they keep you passionate in life and about life. One of my hobbies is skydiving, and I go skydiving at least once a year, if not more. Haven't done it in India, but usually in England. Last year I did it. 2 years back I did it in the US. The adrenaline rush that gives me is simply fabulous. And then once it's done, I'm sorted for the next 4 or 5 months, and then I look forward to my next skydiving trip. The other hobby I've always had is writing, which I still do. I also love rescuing stray dogs or abandoned dogs and rehabilitating them. This is a hobby that's very close to my heart, and it's intrinsically very rewarding. There's one dog at my home right now. We call her Jess. She was in a she was in a bad shape, a puppy, emaciated, malnourished, awful. And today she is the most lovely, vibrant, extremely healthy dog, and everybody's in love with her. So I want to tell people that don't buy dogs from breeders, just adopt. And our indies are beautiful. Get them home and love them. It's a moral responsibility. It's the ethical thing to do. I also am involved with certain other NGOs that over there I'm not able to physically do much, only financially contribute. So I do my bit in that way.
Mhm. I'm also an
Mm.
ardent lover of animals, and
Mm.
this is something what you have told just now is going to make me respect you for the rest of my life. And this is so beautiful that it can actually make me emotional. So I'm trying to hold my tears when you spoke about Indian dogs. Vikram, you have been blessed with a miracle recently. You are a new father to a beautiful, gorgeous baby boy. How has fatherhood enriched your life? We need to know about that.
Fatherhood has made me feel very complete and fulfilled. as an individual. Since as far back as I can recall, I've always wanted to be a father. It was something that I thought of since I was in England um, doing my undergraduation. Since that time, this thought has been on my mind. Uh, I just kept postponing it because I would get nervous. I wasn't sure if I was good enough to be a parent, if I was responsible enough. So when the time was right, I just decided to take the plunge, and I did lots of homework on that before becoming a father. I spent time with single parents and their children. I spent time with lots of young children and their parents. I took holidays with them overseas, all of that stuff, just to assess the extent of responsibility, involvement, etc. And once I had done my homework, I just went ahead with it. It's been an amazing. It is an amazing experience.
I'm sure. I'm sure you're going to be the best dad which the baby can ever have. You know,
Thank you. I hope so. I really hope so.
you will be. I mean, it just, you can feel the vibes. And, Vikram, we are all born in a certain religion. But the way, the method, basically, which we use for our growth, basically decides our spiritual development. So, do you have a spiritual foundation? And why do you think it is so important to have some kind of a spiritual foundation in life? And do you think there is a merging point between religion and spirituality?
I think religion is just a way of expressing spirituality. There are lots of ways of expressing spirituality. Like for instance, and I think that most of us are spiritual in our own ways. There's a saying that whatever it is that brings you alive, you're spiritual in that field. Like for instance, my mother is a karma yogi. She believes in doing her karma. So in whether it's work, she's always worked in the company. She's now heading R&D, doing the right thing, always being honest and forthright. And she says, and she does a lot of charity. For her, this is her spirituality. This is her religion. There are people who are extremely ritualistic, and I've gone through those phases also, and I dip in and out of that even now from time to time, that is fine. That's also a part of spirituality. It's just spirituality expressing itself in a different way. There are people um, who will just meditate and nothing else, and that's also beautiful.
Mhm. So
Have I answered your question?
yeah, and the part two was, do you think there is a space where religion and spirituality? Yeah, I think you just said that it's an extension of religion is an extension of spirituality. You just said that
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, on those
yeah,
lines.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Spirituality, I feel spiritual. Most people are spiritual. It just expresses itself in different ways in different people. Religion is one way. It kind of it's one manifestation, if you want to call it that, of spirituality.
hmm. So, are you trying to suggest that religion and rituals are different things? Religion has a certain purity to it, and rituals at times can be become little rigid.
I have myself been quite ritualistic at times, and as I said to you, I still dip in and out of it. I think whatever floats your boat is good as long as you're not inconveniencing other people or
Correct,
forcing your views on other
correct,
people.
correct. I think that's the point.
You do, yeah, you do what you want to do.
Correct. I think that's the point. And Vikram, you have a very fabulous life. But what is
God
still,
is kind.
God is kind, much gratitude. But still, what is it about life, which excites you to live another day with the same amount of zeal and enthusiasm?
My son,
Yes.
ev- every morning when I wake up, I look forward to seeing him, look
Mm.
forward to his antics, look forward. I'm really enjoying this entire process of him growing. He's right now at that phase where he's so inquisitive about everything around him. So the other day he saw a lamp and like the lamp behind you, and he was constantly switching it on and off, and then he would look at it, and again he would go back to the switch. 45 minutes we just stayed put watching him do this, and then once he was done, he said, "Okay, we are good to go." I look forward to that. I look forward. My routine is set in such a way that I try and make my day as fulfilling and as complete as possible. So work, of course, meditation, my working out, my friends are very, very, very important to me, and I make it a point to spend time with my friends almost every second day, third day. For me, that's amazing. It's therapy. Um, yeah, my mother. It's if we are in different cities, I speak to her on the phone, but I need to connect with her every day. I learn She's my first guru, and I've learned a lot from her. So my days are such that I look forward to everything that I do because I love all of that stuff. Whether it's rescuing dogs, rehabilitating them, all of that stuff gets me very excited.
Mhm. Because there is so much genuinity in your actions. I think that's one of the reasons, getting up every day and facing life with so much love and affection. I think it's really great. And please tell me one thing. We have all been asking each other this question: how did you handle the pandemic time? And what advice would you give to people, who are genuinely depressed because probably they have lost their near dear ones, or probably they have lost their jobs, and they are actually into an anxiety spiral. So, any specific word of advice for them or inspiration?
How did I hand what during we were working throughout the pandemic. Though we were working from home, there was a lot to do at that time. Because we had all the factories were running, the 5 factories, so we had to make sure that the sanitization levels were completely up to the mark. That There was just a whole lot of stuff to do, and then when the vaccination drive started, we had to make sure that something like more than 1,000 workers had to be vaccinated. We had to keep records of all of that. Some of them were not keen; they were resisting getting the vaccine. We had to sit and counsel them. This entire time of the pandemic has been busy for me with work, and also my son came during that time. I'm busy with him. So yeah, it was a great time. I did lots of meditation, and I had a personal trainer coming at home for my workouts. The days would go pretty fast,
Hmm.
and of course, the responsibility of feeding stray dogs went up a lot, and a whole lot of people who came forward. I was one of them. There was just a lot more. It was a very busy. The last 2 years have been extremely busy, but very, very fulfilling, very nice. I moved to Goa 6 months back for some time, which was also an amazing time. Working from home, taking my son to the beach, catching up with my friends in Goa. It's been busy. It's been fun.
Mhm. And what advice would you give to people who are into an anxiety spiral due to pandemic?
Um, People who are going through anxiety and difficult times, one, I would tell them to meditate. I would tell them to start having certain Ayurvedic preparations that will help them with that anxiety issue. Otherwise, this issue escalates. And the more it escalates, the more maladjusted you are to your environment, the less likely you are to bounce back. It just delays the process of bouncing back. It's not worth it. So meditation, um, uh, adopt Ayurveda as your everyday life thing. It has to be in your the supplements have to be part of your staple diet. Then I would say that I think patient understand that this is that everything is in God's hands, and all we have to do is patiently accept the cards that have been dealt to us and do the best we can within our circumstances.
Right, right. So, with this, Vikram, we come to the end of this lovely conversation. And I'm so thankful to you for trusting me with this interview. And I know hearing your inspirational words, a lot of hearts are going to break open. And it has been lovely half an hour chatting up with you. Thank you so much. Thank you once again.
Thank you.